And we're back. Welcome to Geek Out SA. We actually have somebody behind the producer's window. So, hi. Hi, producer. I think you have that live. So, well, welcome. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
2014.
We have Eden here.
Hello.
Nice of you to come. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
It's cold out there.
I went straight from like one door into a warm vehicle. Didn't pay attention.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, it's supposed to get colder again tonight when I see it. Probably freezing again. So.
I can't actually type into the Chitango right now.
Really?
I don't know why.
You broke
Are you
it.
able to? The last one I see is Mike Mancine 2. Is that what's supposed to be there? It's supposed to be something else. But again, welcome to Geek Out SA. Let's all make fun of Vince. Yes, let's do that.
Yay, see it works.
So, I've been reflecting on 2013, and I've come to the well, since we're coming New Year, there's New Year's resolutions. I was thinking, what would be my geeky New Year's resolution? Because I need to work out, I need to eat better, but what would be the geeky thing? And since y'all give me crap about not reading books, I'm going to read 6, count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sci-fi and/or fantasy books this year.
Awesome.
So
should we put a page number limit on him that he has to read X number?
I'll read it cover to cover.
Okay.
It's my New Year's resolution, so I probably won't. But it's 6 in 1 year. It's like what?
I got nothing against that.
1 every 2 months. So.
Or speed read.
Yeah.
I know.
You just pick that up.
That's interesting that he said that he probably won't, though. Did you hear that? After what we were talking about earlier? That supposedly you should not make New Year's resolutions because it's called a willpower paradox. So humans don't like to be told what to do. So since you're telling yourself what to do, even though you're the one telling yourself what to do, you won't do it because you don't want somebody telling you what to do. It's like this weird thing that they've been studying. So, I don't know.
I've been doing pretty good with my
Maybe you
Year's
should
resolution.
say, I would like to read 6 books instead of I'm going to.
I'm going to do it.
Okay, sure.
I saw a cartoon yesterday. I can't remember which webcomic it was now. I'll attribute it later. But anyway, where one character looks at the other character and says, "What's a New Year's resolution?" He goes, "It's a to-do list for the first week of January."
That sounds about right.
So actually, since you see a new face here and maybe you recognize it, this is my wife Colleen, and she's filling in for Vivian this week. But Vivian will be back eventually. She's had to take care of some stuff. Maybe some of you know, but we'll leave her personal business with her.
Yep.
But we love you. We miss you. Can't wait to.
Miss you. Hope things get better.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Eden, would you happen to have a geeky New Year's resolution for this year?
Yes. Or as we were discussing earlier, I just got an Xbox 360 because I'm slow to start. That's all there's to it. So my goal is to actually play it. I got it with 3 games.
Sweet.
What'd you get?
I got I completely blanked out on the 3rd one. It didn't look that interesting to me, I'm not gonna lie. But I got Grand Theft Auto 5, And of course, that's the one that stood out.
Yes.
By default, no matter what.
Right.
And I got Batman. I completely forget which one it is, but it's Arkham.
The Arkham one?
Yeah, I think it's like Chronicles or something like that. Something
Vi-
Arkham and something towards the
You should definitely
end.
get with Vivian on those.
3.
Those are her games.
Arkham 3.
3, something like
It's the third one.
Is that
Okay.
Origins?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Origins, yeah. Yeah, you should have Vivian come and play with you because that is her niche.
Okay.
She will, yeah.
That was,
She will totally set you up.
Yeah, I actually have one of my sons here, Zachary, in the producer's booth as well. He's giving us crap about the video games, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll play a video game with you pretty soon. I'll play Super Dodgeball with you.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what the Nintendo is, much less how to use it. He's like, what is that archaic
What is
technology?
that old
Are you playing it on
thing?
an actual box or an emulator?
No, on
On
the
a
box,
box.
dude.
Oh, awesome.
We have the
Man.
box out.
We have the
got-
cartridge and everything.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
That was one of his Christmas presents. We were like, oh, Nintendo, we've been playing River City Ransom.
oh, I love that game. With the little figures, and they got like
Yes.
tiny
Yes.
nunchucks, and you see little people run up and they start beating each other. That was like the best game ever.
We had to go like fight these two dudes forever to get the boot. What kind of boots were they?
Oh, the Texas boots.
Yeah, Texas
Yes.
boots. And then you get like all these level ups and everything with your Texas
You can run
boots.
really,
You can
really
run
fast
really
and kick
fast.
people's ass.
Yeah.
And they're coming out with a second one, and I'm waiting for Matt to get that into, because he got like 4 copies of it. So I can't wait to play that. That's going to be awesome. Mike, what is your geeky New Year's resolution?
Well, I don't know. I've got a list of things I'm trying to accomplish this year, put it that way. One of them is going to be I want to get at least one game actually in production and printed this year. Don't want to discuss too much of that here just yet, but there's that. We're going to be incorporating the Nerding Instinct within the first quarter, and actually building a business out of that on several different platforms,
Sweet.
not just the podcast, but several other things with it. And hopefully by the end of the year to actually be selling at my first convention.
Awesome.
Instead of just running games, actually showing up and starting to vend.
Oh,
Very cool, very cool. Colleen.
Okay, well, in the spirit of hanging out with Mike,
Uh-oh.
I feel like I have to give Doctor Who a chance. So I haven't seen Doctor Who since Tom Baker was the Doctor. So my New Year's resolution, my geeky resolution is to watch some of the Doctor Who with some of the newer Doctors.
Cool. What about you, chat? What do y'all have? What is your New Year's geeky resolution? Anything?
I haven't seen any yet.
Yes, no.
Looks like it's the three of us and one anon.
Everybody's still hungover, so they're gonna watch it tomorrow.
Oh, now I found it. Hi. I had to scroll down, but it was a weird scroll down. I couldn't just had to go. Like y'all know what that means, right?
Sadly enough, I found all of that.
He's like, I can't do this, but I gotta do
Yeah.
this, and then if I do it, okay.
We've been in small rooms together too long.
You just make sounds, and I know what you mean.
Anon 8007 is to write his first role-playing game.
Nice, excellent.
Awesome.
We love a role-playing game.
Cool. What? I don't know who Anonymous 8007 is. 8007. That's a good one.
It's a good one, 007.
No, I'm going to stop there. The joke writes itself, and I'll just leave it alone.
But yeah, no. I'm gonna do the book thing.
Awesome.
So
I get
if y'all have good book, sci-fi or fantasy books, probably more sci-fi. I'm more into sci-fi. Let me know about it. Even chat, let me know about it, and I'll read about it. And I'll talk about it on the show.
what I really would recommend, especially if sitting down and getting through titles is not generally your thing, I really do recommend doing it digitally. I love my print books, but from most of the people I know will consume an ebook at like 20 to 30% faster than they will a book in print.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. I'm one of them. as a matter of fact. I will actually go through a book almost twice as fast in a digital format than I will having a book in front of me. I don't know why, but I clip through it at a much faster rate. Especially if you've got a lot of things going on, like I know you do events, that might be a good way for you, because that consumption rate might make it a little easier for you to hit that goal.
Yeah. I'll do that. I read one on there. I did like 3/4 of it.
It was
But
Bill's book.
It was Bill's book, yeah. Or what does he call him? William. I forget the name. But no, I'll definitely post it up, because he does have it for sale on Amazon. And it's from what I read, it's good. I get busy a lot, and I have to do the convention, I have to do the games,
Right.
I have to do my actual job, and then I have to do this too. So I'm always busy, but it's okay. So Mike, what's going on in the Marvel world?
In the Marvel world, it's a pretty interesting story that just came out here recently. Marvel has announced that it has dropped the monthly print issues of all of its comics from Barnes & Noble and from Books A Million. Now, the story just broke over the last week, and to much hue and much cry. So the CEO had to come back after the fact and state the fact that, guys, we actually quit shipping them comics 3 months ago and nobody noticed.
That's interesting.
So that's pretty indicative of where the monthly print issue format really is in the terms of the larger chains.
Yeah.
Interestingly, however, Marvel is still going to be supplying Books A Million and Barnes & Noble both with trade paperbacks, graphic novels, collected editions, omnibuses, all of these things. The larger formats with more actual bang for the buck, so to speak.
Yeah.
All of that will still be available. It's just the monthly content that won't be. And actually, they stated that according to the vice president of sales for Marvel, they've said they've seen a steady uptrend in graphic novel and trade paperback sales every month of the last year. So that business is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. The digital comic business is still getting stronger and stronger. So this would sound at first glance like you're actually starting to phase out the print version of comic books. But if you look at the mom and pop stores, the specialty outlets, things like Dragon's Lair, Heroes and Fantasies, Alien Worlds, your local comic book store, your brick and mortar stores, they are actually seeing a steady increase in monthly sales as well. Subscriptions themselves are picking up again. I've got like 6 of them myself. So that business is growing, but it's just not popular anymore in the large franchise, big massive outlets like Barnes & Noble. Quite frankly, if it's going to shift, I kind of rather see it shift that direction. Give that business to your local mom and pop stores if you can, support that industry, because those comic book stores were havens for us growing up. They were places where we couldn't get what we were looking for anywhere else unless we wanted to buy the ripped up, banged up stuff off a spinner rack at the Wynn's.
Yeah.
So let's keep that industry in business that way. And I think that's happening. I think that things like the Marvel movies, the Marvel animated stuff, even the DC animated stuff, really starting to drive people's interest in books themselves, and they kind of want that cred of, yeah, I'm really into these things, really cool, which ones do you read? People can go, the last movie? More and more people are now saying, well, okay, I want to be able to back up this thing, I want to go check this out, and they kind of get hooked. I think Marvel in particular is doing it right, because in all of the print issues of their monthly comics now, there's always a digital code in the book. So you can peel back a sticker and get a digital code and go on and get the digital version of the comic for free.
Oh, cool.
So you actually can get 2 versions of it for the price of 1 just by going and continuing to buy the print comic, which for collectors like me, that really works out. So it sounded like kind of this doomsday thing. Oh, no, they're phasing around our comic books, and it's not really that at all. The print comic books are still going to be there. Are they going to sell in the numbers they did in the 1980s? No, not for a good long while yet. But they're still going to be there. It's just a matter of you're going to be buying them in different places. And you've got more options now. You can actually get, if you want the digital version, you can get the digital version. If you want the paper, you can get the paper. And, maybe get the digital one for free. DC hasn't quite caught on to that yet. DC is still issuing, you can buy the print comic for $2.99 or the digital comic for $1.99. Or if some of the comics come out, the monthly titles, if like it's a larger special edition or whatever, will be $3.99, and the digital will be $2.99. They really haven't caught on to this whole Marvel method of let's go ahead and if they buy the print comic, which has kept us in business all this time, let's give them that digital content for free, because it'll actually end up driving sales on both sides.
That makes sense.
Like Marvel does the 99-cent Mondays. If you go to comicsology.com, or you have the Comicsology app, every Monday is 99-cent Mondays on Marvel. So they'll have select Marvel comics every Monday that you can go in, pick up issues for 99 cents a pop. It's not just off-the-wall stuff, it's a lot of their mainstream high-level stuff too. So it's very viable both ways. I like having that flexibility. That DC does technically produce in both worlds, they just don't link it or make it convenient to enjoy both simultaneously. So yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
you would
I'm
think
doing.
if they're going to pick up a new market,
There's
that
some
they're going
DC
to have to
haterade.
go to digital.
Yeah.
If they want to get back to the consumption that they had in the 80s, they're going to have to go to the digital market where the kids are nowadays. That's just where they are.
I love my print books. I really do. And it sounds like I am advocating digital versions in both and twice now. I love collecting comics. I love having the paper in front of me. I'm one of those bag and board kind of guys. So is my wife. But I like the ability that I can go in and have that experience on digital too. And the cool thing about the digital comics, I don't know if have you guys read any digital comics? Have you? The cool thing about that is they actually have a method in there, and different apps name it different things. But basically, it's kind of an automatic view. So as you get your page, you tap the screen, it'll zoom in to the first panel that's to be read. And you'll get that experience there, and it'll automatically go to the next thing to read.
Okay.
And so you're really getting, it feels more immersive. It feels like you're in the conversations, or you're in that environment. Something that Marvel has also, that thing called their AR function. And they'll just have logos on certain pages in every one of their monthly books, where you hold your smart device up, an Android or iOS, and it uses the camera to scan that page, and it'll automatically bring up other content. So maybe an animated version of the page that you're looking at, or it may be an interview with the writers, or it may be an entirely different video to go along with what's in the page, where you get an experience that's not even in the book. And all that's free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
is some
cool.
awesome technology, and that's something that we're going to talk about later, but I can't really talk about it now. Talk about it in a later episode.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you and I
we
touched
have
on
a
this
guest that's
recently.
coming in that's gonna. You just got to see it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's really, really cool. But no, that's cool. I don't know. I think I would like the digital format because you won't like mess up the comic.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was
don't
thinking.
fold it,
There is that.
so that's a good aspect of it. So I would definitely do that. So I know not last week, but 2 weeks ago, you talked about colonizing the moon, right?
Yeah, it's a jumping off point to Mars.
So Mars One.
Versus who?
Mars One versus Capcom. So now Mars One has initiated to colonize Mars by 2023 with a crew of 6. This has been founded by a Dutch business owner, Bas Lonsdorp. Hans Lonsdorp.
I'm sure he's
I tried, yeah.
It's Dutch. This is as close as any of us are going to get.
So he decided, let's get it together. Let's do this. Let's go out there because NASA's not going to do it. 200,000 people have applied for these 6 spots to go in 2023 and to win the golden ticket to Mars. Let's see Willy Wonka there.
like, do you eat a Mars bar, and if it's in the
That'd be perfect.
That's
Exactly.
perfect.
Do they even make those anymore?
they used to?
They
They
do in
They-
Canada, I know.
Yeah, I think they do.
That's going to Nestle Canada, which is a separate corporation. Sorry, I have a Canadian wife who sends me chocolate. So.
Is chocolate better from Canada?
No. It's,
I'm sorry, we digress. Go ahead, Mars. I'm sorry.
So from these 200,000 people, 1,058 potentials have come. It's been narrowed down to that many. So, and then it's going to be narrowed down even further. But yeah, what it's going to be like Total Recall. Where
Get
go
your
out
ass to
there
boss.
And then everybody, all the newborns are going to get irradiated with all this radiation, and they're going to become mutants.
Yay, Quado for president 2024.
Not the fun kind of X-Men mutants, but the sad
Yeah.
Mars mutants. Aw.
No, but they have the one that had the three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing that
Yeah.
popped in my head.
Yeah.
As soon as you said it, we were all like, all the children
Proof
should have
positive.
3%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Proof positive I'm getting old. That didn't pop for me until you mentioned it. It's like, oh, yeah.
So, the first, no. Actually, the initial mission is going to cost about $6 billion. Now, the experts are saying that it's probably going to be more than that. But I think he has a little trick up his sleeve that I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the first defecting Martians, because they're going to be Martians now, will be sent with greenhouses, living spaces, and other supplies needed to survive on Mars. But this is the one drawback. They get a ticket there. They don't have a ticket back. So when they're there to stay. And I think I heard it on the radio. They were talking to one of these 1,058 people, and he was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go, and if I get when I find out that I'm selected, I'm just not gonna have any girlfriends or anything, and I'm just gonna go over there and just not come back and colonize Mars." And it's like, wow. You just kind of cut off ties with everybody. Nobody's gonna get to see you face to face. Your family, your friends.
Well, when we first talked about this, in one of our single-digit episodes, we mentioned that there was actually a project like this being theorized.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing solid out there about it yet. But yeah, man, I've been wanting off this rock for the longest time. Get me away from my family. If I can grab Bonnie and Git, we're gone.
Wow.
It's like,
And then instead of needing a green card, are you going to need a red card in order to?
Your red card, yeah.
Yeah.
The red planet.
I just see it going a whole different way.
Yeah.
It goes back to the 1800s, 1700s, where it's like a village beheading becomes the new trend all over again. Because
yeah, absolutely. This has the stink of Lord of the Flies all over.
Yeah.
And that's if they make it to landfall. That's going to be a long trip around a whole lot of people, in a very small space.
Yeah.
So these first 6 colonists are going to have a huge amount of training to be able to adapt to the new environment of what they're going to. I've never been there, so I don't know what it's going to be like.
Didn't they just discover their first sign of actual flowing water over the last
They
week?
did.
It was an actual
Yeah.
geyser on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting. Even just for geology's sake. Is it still geology?
Yeah,
Anyway.
because it's still erosion and weathering and still geology. It's still part of geology. The
And
oxygen,
I don't-
oxygen is still going to be the big factor.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to go and what's going to happen. Is anybody going to own land there? Or is that just going to be Mars
just-
1 stuff?
Yeah.
That just starts a whole new clusterfuck of
It's
conversation of who
it's
owns
manifest
what and
destiny.
where. Yeah.
They start.
Well, let's not send the British this time. So we saw how that worked last time.
But you know how I was talking about they said it was going to cost $6 billion, and the expert said, yeah, that's not going to be enough. Well, what they're going to do is turn this into a reality TV show where public is going to pick the last 6 that are going to go, but the Mars 1 reserves the right to make the final call on if they get to go or not. So that'll be cool, and then they're going to be broadcasting whatever happens there 24/7.
This is going to be our first blood sport. Just watch. Really, 6 upright primates in a box to Mars.
Yeah.
This is not going to potentially this. And doing this as a lottery, that's rough, dude.
I can
Yeah.
just see it like, let's throw a bunch of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies together. What is
Yeah.
that one? Rollerball from like back in the day. Where
Yeah.
So it's Rollerball and
Running
Total
Man.
Recall and
Running
Running
Man,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
that
you
was
go.
what it was.
Running
Running Man
Man.
and Total Recall. Let's just throw all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies together and make one mission to Mars. Yes.
Yeah, we should really treat this a lot more like Australia than North America. It's like, who do we need rid of really bad? But we're too tough to get rid of any other way.
And then what if these, like, well, I'm sure they're going to pair it off 3 and 3 girls and 3 guys.
Here's hoping.
But what if they just don't get along?
And do they have to read Stranger in a Strange Land before they go?
I'd say so.
I think so.
I think
That's
it
a
should be
definite
mandatory.
list. That's a book you should read.
Oh, that's a
Put
great
it on the
book,
list.
too.
Stranger? Okay.
That one's a lot of fun.
Heinlein. It goes perfect with this story.
Yeah, that's just a real good fun
Stranger in
read.
Strangerland.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can rediscuss the story.
Is
after
there a
you've read
movie
it.
on it?
No.
Nope,
He's like, dang it.
that would be cool.
So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. So I don't know. That's just gonna be weird. It's gonna be really weird. Like all the politics that's gonna go once they're in there, and what's gonna happen. And because like everything they have, they're gonna have the greenhouses. They're gonna grow their own food. I guess they'll not have meat anymore. I don't know.
I think that would be too hard to sustain.
Yeah.
Other living.
Because you'd have
Yeah.
to sustain even more vegetation
Yeah.
to make sure you have.
Yeah, because we were looking at a science story earlier where they were talking about like how much oxygen you would need in space if you were to bring plants. And in a 10 by 10 airlock for one person, you would need over 700 plants to counteract the carbon dioxide that you get rid of and to produce enough oxygen for you to live on.
Do you know what the gravity is like on Mars? Is it?
It's rough. It's pretty close to
Pretty
1 to
close.
1, isn't it? Let me
I
check.
think it's a little higher than that.
I mean, I don't think it's identical, but I mean, it's definitely not like the 1 to 6
So they'd have
problem.
to send skinny people.
Tall, skinny people that end up being short, normal people.
Yes, then they can be short and normal like the rest of us. I don't know, but yeah, then you have to take that kind of stuff into consideration too.
Yeah. And then but like I was saying, if they don't get along and then they
I was
don't
way off.
have sex and then they don't have offspring, then eventually they die.
To answer your question about
Oh.
gravity, it's 62% lower.
Yeah, lower.
Martian gravity is going to be 38% of Earth's, which means that you're going to still have issues retaining bone mass. Not as rapid as weightless orbits, but with that much of a difference, you're going to have a problem holding on to bone mass. And then let's see. And Zach mentioned that we're going to send robots to change the atmosphere by filtering carbon dioxide.
And then I wonder how they get used to the different rotation and revolution too, because then it becomes something like when you live in Alaska and the days are different, and how you get used to that and the different
Yeah,
amounts of sunlight from where you are.
your circadian rhythms are going to be massively changed.
It's not a huge difference. Mars days, it says last 1.03 Earth days. So
but then
it
you're
would
also
take
going to
a
have to think
certain time.
about the radiation because they may not be able to take in because the atmosphere is different
Mhm.
on Mars.
And you're going to have to go with full spectrum lighting, which requires a higher power consumption as well,
Yeah.
because that's the only way that they'll be able to synthesize vitamin D.
Yeah, it's saying
Not
the
to mention
biggest
all the
problem is
psychotic
lack of
effects.
atmosphere.
Well, that's probably just not going to help at all. Like, my worry still, like,
Now
with
we're
Vince has been
busting
not
this. We're like,
looking.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, the more you look at this, they're like,
Maybe it's not going to happen.
Well,
No.
We're like
let's
6 billion?
succeed. Well,
It's a private sector, though.
this does come back to the fact that just because we know we should do something doesn't mean we won't.
Yeah, that's true.
We do make a whole lot of stupid ethical decisions in the name of science. I heart science, don't get me wrong. But I just don't see this ending well. If it wasn't for humans, if we sent 6 chimps to Mars, I'm sure they'd get along just fine. I think market of humanity is the problem here. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I've got a whole lot of data to back up my position.
Yeah.
Now, and how do you like the new studio, guys?
This is awesome. I don't belong here.
I don't belong here.
I like it.
It's better than it was.
It's very not like a dungeon.
Yeah.
The dungeon made me sad. You weren't here when it was a dungeon. It was literally this black room with this table, which is under it is white, and no other lights or anything. It's just very dungeon-esque.
That's interesting. You should have started hanging chains and
I thought that they were going to beat each
and-
other. I was waiting for them to like pull out the implements.
Somebody could have said
Just waiting
something.
for Mike to put on the Git mask.
Yeah, I thought they were going to like bring out a battery all of a sudden. And
Vivian and I
some
could have
nipples
set
were
that
gonna
up
be
in an
hooked
evening.
up. I kept waiting.
I am a leather crafter. I mean,
And then we're gonna put. It was Richard producing last time. We're gonna put the ball on him.
This becomes a whole different show really
No.
quickly.
Yeah.
It's going bad. Now, Colleen, you had a story for this week.
I was. So I wanted to do a science story because I'm a science person. So I've been having a hard time like picking one, but I'm also a school teacher. So I found a science story that, please forgive me, is very intriguing to me. Apparently the BBC has been doing a documentary on dolphins, and there's this footage of dolphins passing this puffer fish around. And then they seem to be stoned after they've passed around this puffer fish because of the toxin in the puffer fish was just TTX. So now there's this whole scientific debate about, do other mammals go through recreational drug use the same way that humans do? Is it something they're looking for? Would a mammal like a dolphin want to do that because they live in a largely dangerous situation that we don't have to live in? So do you really want to be stoned if a shark could come up and eat you at any moment? Or did these dolphins like just accidentally hit it and they were maybe young and then they were like, you know, ow, that hurts, here, you try it, you know, because they're males, and I'm sorry, guys in the room, but seriously, males are like, ow, this really hurts, here, you want to try it? And then the other dudes are like, yes, I do, thank you, ow, it really hurts, here, let's have some more dudes try it, you know, so they're trying
that's
to
not
see
offensive.
if
That's just anthropology.
you know, and then I keep thinking about, what's the name of that movie? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I'm like, you know,
Don't panic.
no, where the dolphins are like, you know, goodbye and thanks for all the fishes. You know, they are brighter than us, so why would they? This TTX is fatal. So if kids are out there thinking about like getting puffer fish to get high, it doesn't make humans high. We are anatomically different than dolphins. It will kill you. That's why, you know, the Japanese can only prepare it. Certain people have been trained to prepare it because it will kill you. So don't go out and try to pass pufferfish around to get high on. It's not a good thing.
I've actually not had pufferfish before, but
Nora.
I want to. I want to try. I know you want to try because you hate sushi.
I do hate sushi, and after reading more into this, I just don't think I would try it on premise alone. When I read about all the things that could potentially happen to you from eating pufferfish that's not taken care of, if they don't get that TTX out of there, you're in a lot of trouble real fast.
See, I definitely want to try it. I'm not sure if I have the guts to try it in the States.
What do you want though? When he's in the States.
Yeah, let's just go find Morimoto and
Yeah.
But that's true. Well, he has a restaurant in New York, and actually, one of my friends was an apprentice sous chef with him last summer. So we actually do have an in with
Oh, that's
Morimoto.
cool.
So,
But I'm just curious what the implications are, because we do think of dolphins as the same type of intellect as us, if not higher at times than we have. What are the implications to find? Because they have found that there are dolphins who do go through and murder other dolphins.
Mhm.
There have been dolphin rapes. There are like atrocities of
interspecies even.
Yes, atrocities of mankind that you wouldn't attribute to other mammals happen in the dolphin world.
Well, I know
So-
they talk that we used to hear about way back when that dolphins were so smart and
Yeah.
but they're not quite that they thought that they were on the same level as us, and they found that they're not really on the same level as us?
It depends on who you're reading, whose study you're reading, who you're talking to, because there are certain things in science where we attribute human qualities to things that don't naturally have human qualities. Like if you've ever looked at something, like you look at a trash can and all of a sudden you see a smiley face, or you look at like, you know, a street sign and this over there and that over there, and you're like, oh wow, that looks like a face. So we can't help it. Our brain does that so that we feel more comfortable with things. So then you get into this subscience of, okay, are the dolphins as smart as us, or are we reading too much into their actions and we're putting human thoughts, emotions, feelings, actions into a dolphin that doesn't really have those?
Right.
It's too hard to say.
And there's also a matter, too, of what criteria that particular study is using to determine what is equal, what is superior, what is inferior. You know, what marker you're using for intelligence in one study is potentially and probably different than the markers you're using for intelligence in a different study. You know, can they learn to read English as quickly as we can? That's probably going to be a no, because they're not designed to function with those particular parameters. But can they pick up with other ways? Yes. Have they learned to communicate to some level? Yes. And like I said, I don't think it's a large jump. When you've established a species will participate in sex recreationally, I think that participating recreationally in a drug use is a short jump. Because you're looking to stimulate the brain and the body in much similar ways. I think it's a short jump. I think it's pretty easy. And I think, too, that defining equality in terms of intelligence, you're looking at a one species who has one set of priorities, another species has another set of priorities, and quite frankly, they don't have a lot of the hang-ups that we're going to have, too. They're not going to have a lot of these self-imposed limitations that we kind of create in the name of society. And I look at any species that's not having to go through the crap we create for ourselves as humans, and I think they've got a leg up. No legs in dolphins, I understand, but
they've got a fin up.
They've got a fin up. Yeah. So I don't know. It's one of the things that it really does depend on how you look at it. Would it really surprise me that this is recreational drug use? Not in the least. I'd even give them a little bit of credit. You know, they will probably manage to handle it better than we do.
Die from it.
Yeah, no kidding. They don't shoot each other. That's my pufferfish. I just sold you that pufferfish. Like, I'm going to shoot you, and this is my pufferfish region.
Don't bogart the pufferfish.
Yeah, no. They start hiring sharks as like bodyguards and stuff.
Drug lords
and like drug lord dolphins, and they've got
they use starfish as currency.
Eden's really thought about this, y'all. I'm a little concerned.
That's awesome.
Well, there's what was it, Malaysian village, seaside village, that's actually over the generations taught the dolphin population in the region to herd fish towards the fishermen on the shore. So the fishermen aren't even going into boats anymore to go fishing. The dolphins realize the fishermen are there. They'll start herding schools of fish to the shoals, and the fishermen will just gather them up in the nets right there in the shallows, share a portion of it with the dolphins, and they part ways for the day, and they come back when it's time to go fishing again. Over generations, I think it's 8 generations now, they've become actually actively, consciously symbiotic with each other, actively fishing together for the benefit of the dolphins and the humans at the same time.
I mean, that's how we got tamed dogs.
Yeah.
Is because wolves became symbiotic with us because of that need to kind of hunt together. So why not dolphins? Never know.
Makes you go,
Mm-hmm.
So, we have a guest here. Her name is Eden. Welcome, Eden. How are you doing?
I'm doing horrible.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm leaving.
All of us were like, what?
What?
You didn't tell me there was going to be a fat man in a hat. I'm out of here.
So I'm going to ask you the question that I've been wondering for the longest time. Where did the name EdenX come from?
Eden was actually suggested by one of my good friends that I've known for like, I think 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
She just randomly was like, hey, that's a cool name, so I picked it, and then I put the X on there because some people know and some people don't, but I'm a big car enthusiast, and I own and I collect a lot of import sports cars. And so one of my favorite cars is I have a 1990 300 ZX, and It's like the 350Z came after it,
Uh-huh.
but they took the X off, but the X stands for luxury. So I took the X from that and I stuck it on. So a lot of people don't realize that's what the X is for. It's in reference to a car.
Yeah.
So it's to kind of put my two favorite things together.
Huh.
That's awesome.
That is
That
awesome.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because I know back in, like, what, 76, they had the 280Z,
Uh-huh.
and then not much longer they had the
The 300.
ZX, the
Yeah.
280ZX.
Yeah.
And I think the only difference was the actual, they had the chrome over the windows,
Yeah.
whereas the ZX didn't have any of the chrome. It was just the window that came up to the top.
Yeah.
But I had one of those back in the 90s, a red one, really cool.
Yeah.
And then somebody hit it, deboned it.
Oh,
I hate
geez.
when that happens.
You're like, dang it.
So you do a lot of cosplay.
Uh-huh.
How far do you get into your characters when you're cosplaying?
It really just, I usually try to get as much as I can to the character, but it depends on the environment I'm in, I guess, because there's been to some conventions where I can just be that character and it's awesome and it's great, and there's others I'll go to where there's creepy people everywhere. I'm just going to say that to begin with, but
Uh-huh.
there'll be some people that they just get so into the fact that I'm so, like, I look so similar to a character that they refer to me as it so much, but then they start to get weird and creepy, and I'm like, all right, this is enough. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not doing this one.
Like, I just, like, go into that whole, like, safety word that, what's his name, Kevin Hart came up with. I'm like, pineapples. That's it. I'm out.
Out.
I was like, I gotta leave.
I don't know if you've shown if you can bring it up again, the image for Eden. This was one that I didn't get to see at Comic Con, and I really,
The
really
elf?
wanted to. The
Yeah.
dark elf.
Oh, yeah, I remember talking about that.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to wear that again?
I am. I'm actually, I plan to do a photo shoot later this month. I do plan to wear it, and I'm actually, I'm waiting for the latex to get here, but I ordered, she doesn't really have a name, but if you, like, Google, like, dark elves from Lineage 2, there's one particular one that always pops up. Her hair is white with, like, a bun.
Mhm.
And she's got, like, a bodysuit on, and she's got, like, thigh highs, and she has, like, a sword, and you usually can't see the back of her. So I really want to do that one, but I decided I like to, I guess one of my things, and I've decided to do it differently. So, you know, a lot of cosplayers, their goal is to look as much like the character, and I've been there and I've done that, and I'm tired of doing it, I'm not going to lie. So I like to make them my own now. So instead I'm doing that costume, but I want it, hers doesn't have any armor, like hers is just like a bodysuit and that's it, but I've decided to add armor like to hers and kind of mold it and make it my own. Like each character, I want to do the character where you see the similarities, but I want to add my own, like, and I'm obsessed with armor, so the more armor I can add on to anything and I'll be happy.
Nice.
As an armorer, I can feel you.
Yeah.
You just you look for excuses to work it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. Kayla, Vivian and I have talked about that several times about, like, taking the character but making it your own by,
Yeah.
like, putting some modifications of what is your favorite thing or how you would like to see
Yeah.
the character. I think that's great. Adding armor, that would be so
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So what's your, what has been your most favorite character to cosplay?
It would be Shishomaru. I cosplayed
Put me in on that one.
He's the older brother of Inuyasha from the series.
Oh, okay.
Inuyasha.
Okay.
I think it's been like 2-3 years ago I cosplayed him, but I think probably the reason why is I can be sarcastic
Mm-hmm.
and ass. I'll admit it. I don't care. So it was pretty awesome to be him because he, like, hates humans and all that. So I was like,
Awesome.
oh, cool. I can just be pissy to people if I want to. If I'm having a bad day and no one will say anything to me because I'm this character. So that was, like, the one up to it. And then also because he was the first one I ever did that had armor because he has that huge shoulder armor piece. So there's a real big piece to it. And also he's the first male I've ever cosplayed, and I always wanted to do a male because he has such feminine features to an extent. I decided to do it, and also I was really proud of that one because that one came out so well that, like I was saying earlier, I had people that literally were talking to me like I was that character. Like, they would not address me any other way but that character. I was so proud of myself because I did such a good job on it. So, and also it's been the most difficult costume to wear. Like, well, I'd probably say I think it is the most, because I wore that to A-Kon in June, and it's like full pants and the full top and the huge armor piece, and then he's supposed to be carrying his tail, so it's just like a giant hot pillow that you're carrying around with you in this long hot wig, and then you have these contacts in your eyes that are annoying because he has like the cat eye ones. So, and then I had to make sure to do the makeup the right way. But
Wow.
I'm still really, really proud of that one because I took the time to like hand paint the sash and everything so that it looked just like his, like, to a T. So that's definitely my favorite one.
Awesome. That's really cool.
So you have some really good costumes that you told us about, and you design a lot yourself, and you add the armor to it. Can you tell us more about like some of like the materials you use, or like what is your inspiration, or how do you decide like what to do, and then where do you kind of go from there?
Usually when I see it, I guess I'm a very person with a vivid imagination. So the moment I see anything or the moment I think of anything, I already somehow magically put all the pieces of the puzzle together, like right away. Like with an outfit, as soon as I think of it and I see how it looks, like I automatically realize this is the type of fabric that has to go, like with it. So like a lot of people, like for my Dark Elf Queen, I saw how a lot of people did it, and it was with like more of like kind of like a coarse, I guess satin, like a stiffer satin, but I noticed on the figure itself it looks more flowing. And then at the same time, because it's South Texas and it's going to be hot, I have to think about that too. So I made it out of a cotton fabric instead, because I have to think of it looks flowing, but at the same time I don't feel like melting to death in it at the same time. So I kind of put both of those factors.
Do you start with a base and then add stuff, or do you sew everything from scratch yourself?
Me and my mom usually do most of it together, and she's a lot more skilled than me, but she's been sewing for over 40 years. So she can, and I've learned from her, so we don't sew with patterns. I guess it's in our head. So when I see the shape of something, I just cut it out. I don't go on patterns. I've tried to use patterns and I've failed miserably. I'm not even gonna, I tried to make like a pair of pajama pants in sewing class with a pattern, and that was just a horrible, it was bad. It was like high waddlers, and it was like too tight, and it just didn't. So of course I didn't do well in that class because we're supposed to use patterns, and I refused to use patterns. So she's like, "That you're not doing it the right way." So, but usually in my head, if I see the shape, I cut out the shape. It becomes the shape, and I don't really see how that's much of an issue. But I can understand how some people they learn differently from others. But usually I see it and I freehand it, and I just alter it along the way. And usually it's pinned to me. I guess that's the benefit, because I know it's a little harder for people who do everything on their own, but the benefit of having my mom help me is that my costumes are always fitted to my body to a T. So that's why I tend to not sell my costumes that I've made for myself. Because most people, when they make it, they use a dress form, they try to get it's conformed to themselves. But mine, we literally physically pin it to, like my Morgan costume. That one takes myself. It takes two other people to help me get it on, because it is so skin tight and it's so conformed to my body shape that I have to have help putting it on. So I know nobody else is, unless they're shaped exactly like me, it's not gonna. Most of my outfits will not fit another human being.
So what do you see for the future of your cosplay design? Do you want to design for other people, or you like just doing...
I've tried it in the past, and that was an agonizing, horrible experience. I'm not gonna... For those who can to make cosplays or do commissions for others, more power to you. I don't know how you guys do it. Like, there's an upside and downside to all of it. When you finish it and you see somebody so excited and so happy and it comes out awesome and you see them wearing it, it like makes you like a proud parent. But then it's just the process, because I mean, we all know that people can just complain about the most random things and change things and that was the thing that drove me insane, is at the last minute they'd be like, "Can you do this?" Or, "I want to look more like this." And I'm like, "But you don't have the body." I mean, people are shaped differently. I'm like, I don't know how you possibly expect me to make you look like that. we all know that most anime characters, video game characters, etc., are like an over-exaggeration. Especially the female characters, they're an over-exaggeration. I was like, human beings' boobs do not defy gravity unless we go see a plastic surgeon and overdo it. It's like the only way. So that was the agonizing part to that part. It was rewarding, but it was just. So I have no intentions of making costumes for other people at all ever again. I pass on that one.
So do you have a few costumes lined up that you want to do for yourself?
Yeah, I have one. I'm currently doing Poison Ivy. I took I keep forgetting the artist, but it's the one of Poison Ivy where she's wearing the bodysuit, but it's got a cutout in her stomach. So what I decided to do is to take that and blend it with the Dark Elf Queen's outfit. So I'm going to make one look very similar to Dark Elf Queen, but it's going to have the big train to it. And then, of course, because I like armor, I was purposely going to add armor to it. And instead of it having just a long, flat kind of train, I was going to kind of make it kind of steampunk inspired and put a big bustle instead. But it was going to have like different, I was going to sew on crystals to it. So I know it's going to be like a painstaking, agonizing experience, but it'll look really awesome when it's done. But it's supposed to kind of have that mix of her and the outfit base come from the Dark Elf Queen, and it's going to have the real nice high neck to it, and I'm just going to purposely make it look like it has a crown, but with a poison ivy to it.
That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
That does sound cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for that
I'm
one.
excited to see that one now. I'm like imagining it.
Yeah.
That sounds really great. So what other geeky interests do you have? I know you talked to us a little bit about your old video games and just getting into Xbox. Do you have anything?
I guess that's really primarily, like, I like video games, but I'm stubborn, and it took me this long to get to an Xbox 360. I've been addicted to Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. I like my Sega Saturn.
Nice.
And even though I only play one game on Sega Saturn, I still like it. And it's I play Daytona USA because I like going reverse on the track and listening to it say stop, you're going the wrong way, and listen to the annoying music at the same time. I don't know why, but I find that amusing.
Our producer is in love with that right now. He's like so excited that you just said that.
It's amusing. It's so funny. It's really amusing to me. And then I like playing, what is it called? It's not Street Fighter. It's the Virtua Fighter Kids. I like playing Leon, the one with the little praying mantis, and he does the... I like playing that one a lot, so it took me a long time to accept newer game systems. Everybody's like, 360 is awesome. I'm like, you know what? I still play Time Splitters, and it's awesome. I get to play as a pirate and shoot a fishbowl head, and that makes my day complete. I'm like, that's all that matters.
Nice.
So yeah, that's primarily what I do. Probably the only other geeky thing that I would do is that I like to read. But I like to read like Dan Brown books or like anything like similar to that. So I'm like obsessed with all those, or anything historical, like, historical books, because I'm like obsessed with history. So especially like ancient history. So I'm really obsessed with that. And then anything with like biology, because I'm not gonna lie, I know it sounds bad, but if I'm like in anybody's office and they have any sort of medical book, I'm stealing it. If you don't see me, I'm going to take it. There's just no way. I'm not walking out of there without it in my... I find a way. I don't care. But I will take it. I have like piles of books from like even my parents' like lawyer's office that I took. I was like, sweet. I was like, this is like the best experience. But that is actually the field that I work in, is medical. So anything with the human body like is the most... That's probably the one thing I'm most passionate about, is like the human body. To me, I think it's kind of cool. As soon as you cut yourself, you don't realize your body immediately responds and starts healing itself. And to me, it's like we're like some of the most amazing, like the living body is like the most amazing like thing ever. I'm like so fascinated by it. So I pretty much binge on anything like that, or I already went through like a whole marathon of the monsters inside of us.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with that stuff.
That
My favorite channels are all like the Discovery channels. Like, I don't really use the purpose of cable for anything, but you'll find me watching National Geographic, History Channel, and like all the Discovery channels, and that's it. My life's complete. I have no need for any other channels.
One of my dream vacations actually is go to the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia, isn't it? But it's like the largest medical curiosity and medical anomaly museum in the world.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Death casts of Chang and Eng. All these different really fascinating places, preserved specimens, things like this.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list. That's something I want to do.
Have y'all done the bodies exhibit?
Yeah.
It's really
I missed it.
controversial, but
The Placination.
oh, man, yes.
I'm obsessed with. I studied that for like ever when I was younger, and then when I saw the exhibit, I went to the one here, and then I went to when it was in Galveston, and I was like stalking it around Texas for a good while, and I was like, all right, I've spent like too much money.
See it in Vegas.
Saw it in Vegas, yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
So
I haven't.
Awesome. I'm just standing there in the room, just like staring. He's like, you have to leave. They're gonna close soon. I'm like, I can't leave it.
I'll take it with me. No one will notice.
No, we have
Hold
to
on.
leave. The plane's gonna.
Oh yeah, the plane's gonna leave us. Yeah.
We did it on the last day.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned that you're really into cars. What aspects are you into?
I guess all of it really. If it has to do with the car, that's probably why Transformers is like one of my all-time, because it has like two of my favorite things. It's robots and cars put together, and to me it just can't get any greater than that. So, but yeah, it's really all of it. Like my favorite thing to do is, because a lot of people try to figure out how I have so many cars. It's not because I'm rich, though I would love to be. It's just because I buy them really cheap and I slowly fix them up. Like my 300ZX, I got that for $900. And it was because he couldn't get it to, rev past like 3,000 RPM. And it was just one like $200 piece. And I'm still slowly fixing it because apparently had been stolen like 3 times prior to me owning it. So the entire interior had been stripped out. So I've had to go to the junkyard and buy all the seats. And so that's probably the most rewarding part to me, is fixing it up, because
That's awesome.
a lot of people, they buy the car fixed up already and they're so proud of it, but they don't even, you ask them a question, they really don't know what the process took, and I feel more proud of it because I did this. My sweat, blood, and tears have gone into making this what it is now. So I really enjoy buying things and slowly fixing them up, and to me a car is like never complete, ever. Like I have like a 2008 Mazda 3, and it's like this normal plain car, but I'm like, I can buy Angel Eye headlights for it, and I can drop it, and I can get these wheels. I'm like, I'm gonna get this touchscreen stereo that's totally awesome. I'm like, and I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna turbo it, and I start like going off, and I'm like, anything to make it faster and potentially kill myself at a high speed, because that's totally the best way to go out, and I don't care what it says. That's like my thing. Like I have a Miata, and I keep telling people I want a monster Miata.
Yes.
He has a Miata too.
When we first met, when we're trying to get you to come to Chimericon, you drove in your Miata.
Yeah.
I drove in my Miata too.
Yeah, I have
You
the
have
silver one. Yeah.
97 STO edition.
Yeah, I have the 2001, the Nardi Torino.
Uh-huh.
That's the one I have. But I'm so determined to like twin turbo it, and all my friends that know me, they're like, you're gonna kill yourself in it, and I don't even know why you're getting that. You have road rage problems. Like, it's really, I'm pretty sure having a car that tiny and having people drive that slow. It doesn't matter if the line's here. If there's a space big enough and there's no cops around, I make my own lane and I go. I get to where I need to be at.
The really cool thing is you can fit into damn near any parking space.
Yeah.
I love that about the game.
Yeah, but I always make sure to park mine towards the end, only because my friend told me, he's like, you shouldn't park it all the way in. He's like, why? He's like, because people will drive up not thinking there's a car there and slam right into it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, because I've done it. I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
That happened to me at work, and I had to replace the just one of the blinker lights and stuff, the
Yeah.
lenses. But no, they're cool.
A buddy of mine took out a restored Triumph with a 1975 Chevy Impala station wagon, exactly that way. Didn't see the Triumph parked in there, and over the bike. I mean, he was parked on the bike.
Wow.
Got the brakes stopped. It was ugly.
That's bad.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that.
That's pretty bad.
So, when did you start geeking out about cars?
I was born into it.
Awesome.
My dad was never a mechanic. He never worked as a mechanic, but he was so good with cars that he's the type of person that if he heard it, he could tell you what it was, like what type of engine it was, or if he heard it, he could tell you what was wrong with it, and he never was wrong. Like that was the most impressive part. Is people would go have it checked, and he was always right. He knew what was wrong with your car the moment he heard it. And if it wasn't making a noise, but you told him something, he would like always narrow it down to like one of two things, and it was always one of those two things. So, and my dad is the type of person that I was raised like a son, more than a daughter. So, it was kind of like the job of you carry the heavy bucket that's too heavy for you, and don't complain, because it's just your job to do it. So whenever he was out there working on cars, I was there right with him. So, I grew up with it.
Good skill to have, though.
Yeah, it really is. It's definitely a good skill.
Awesome. Well, I've got to ask at this point. So, if you could have any car in the world, money not an option, what would it be?
Oh, it never changes. It stays the same. But I want an FD Mazda RX-7.
Really?
I'm obsessed with that car. I'm just not even gonna lie. I'm like in love with that car. Like I go back and forth. I'm like, I want a Skyline. No. Nope. I'm like, maybe no. Yep. I want the RX.
It's refreshing not to get a McLaren F1 as an answer to that question.
Yeah.
Personally, my dream car, believe it or not, is a '77 Pacer wagon, powder blue with flames.
It's like gotta have the flames.
Gotta have the flames, powder blue.
Have the flames.
I had a '77 wagon. That's my favorite car to date. Well, I take it back, except for the stupid little car I'm driving right now, which I dearly, dearly love. But yeah, I want my Pacer wagon. Ugliest car on this earth, and that's kind of why.
Might as well be a gremlin, dude.
Very cool, very cool. Now I have my last question I ask every guest that comes on the show. If we're in a zombie apocalypse, and you could put one geeky item in your bug out bag, what would that geeky item be and why?
That's a hard question.
While she's pondering, have you two ever answered that question?
Yes, we have.
Have you?
Yes, we
I
have.
can't remember what y'all's answers were. Yours was probably apt. I think it's probably
I think it was, actually. Yeah, I think mine was, I think I jokingly answered Sonic Screwdriver
Your sonic
first.
screwdriver, that's what I figured with your fear.
Actually,
Knee-jerk reaction.
Actually, what ended up being was a hand torch, a dynamo motor,
Oh, that's right.
so I could generate my own electricity.
Mine was actually a regular deck of cards. Because I could do magic with it, because I'm a magic geek. I can do magic with it, I can play poker with it, I can play blackjack with it. So I gotta stay sane in the zombie apocalypse, so.
That's such a hard question. I was like totally raised with like shooting things. So to me, of course, instantly first reaction is take every like collection of weapons ever. So I'm trying to think.
Have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah.
Well, so maybe you should start on your zombie cosplay, and then you can pack that away, and you can just blend in while the rest of us.
I know, right? Just like keep like a
a
jar of like rotting meat, and I'm like, totally, this is my camouflage. I'll blend in.
Lady Gaga.
I know.
After years.
Yes, there we go. Like perfectly. I don't know. I probably the one thing I would actually take is I have a little stuffed. And it's completely useless to like zombie apocalypse, but I have a little stuffed Mario mushroom that one of my really good friends gave me, and I don't go around her very often, but she's still probably like one of the best people like I know. So it kind of would be like my little thing of hope. Like even though the world sucks and everybody's getting eaten, it's like kill or be killed. Like I have this little joy.
Yes.
Just like this little haven just right here, just like I don't know, hanging on the end of my gun. So like after I shoot something, I'm like tee. Like,
Yeah, well, most people answer this as something that they would use to like attack zombies. So it's refreshing when you say something like that, because
yeah.
that's what I really geared that question to be whenever I ask it.
Yeah.
What is that little something that you would just like geek out over that you need to have in the zombie apocalypse? And that's really cool.
Just makes your day brighter.
You know, those little
Yeah.
totemic things are important. People, forget that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they want to check you out or maybe get like prints or anything, how can they get a hold of you?
Just mainly through my Facebook page
Mhm.
or my email. It's EdenX with the number 2 at gmail.com. That's the easiest way, since that's probably the 2 things I don't ignore.
Mhm.
As I try to be as antisocial. I know a lot of people find this very weird and confusing about me, but as much as I love to cosplay, I am such a hermit. I really don't like people as much as people think I do. I really don't. I like to go to work, go home, and just not have to speak to anyone. I'm really one of those people. I'm like the bah humbug walking around in Walmart. People are like, excuse me. It's like, what do you want? Just go away. There's an associate right over there. Don't ask
on
me.
that road rage the whole
I
time.
know. So yeah, that's definitely the best way to get to me. I usually, I'm actually even though I'm antisocial, I'm a very friendly person. If you send me a message, I answer all my messages as long as they're not perverted or just beyond stupid. I'll answer them. So yeah, but that's the best way.
Cool. We'll go ahead and post that probably tomorrow or the next time we get a hold on our Facebook, and we'll shoot it out there and let more people know about you.
Cool.
Do you have any gamer news this week?
I do have a little bit of gamer news. Again, coming to us in courtesy of Dragon's Lair San Antonio. They've just received a new Carcassonne expansion. It's Carcassonne South Seas. So it's the first truly tropical version of the game. So that's available now. It's currently on the shelves, as a matter of fact, so it's already out there available to pick up. Just everything revolving around the resources, et cetera, you would actually have on a South Seas island. Apparently they play the bridges thing up here pretty heavy on this one. So that was pretty interesting. And we also have, let's see, January 4th, coming up this weekend, at 1 p.m. at Dragon's Lair San Antonio, we have a Magic the Gathering modern format tournament. So any of you guys who are upping your collections and want to try your stuff out, $10 entry. They need at least 10 people for this event. Now, these things tend to go fast. If they still have slots open by Friday, I'd be amazed. Mm-hmm. Generally, by Thursday night, these things have filled up pretty well. It is going to be Swiss rounds with a cut to top, and they want you to show at least 15 minutes before the event. So 1 p.m. everything kicks off. So you want to be there by 12:30, 12:45 at the latest, and actually get involved with some of that. This will be the first tournament they've held there this year, and it is modern format, so it has to be everything from 8th edition forward, so nothing prior to 8th. That still goes quite a ways back. That's what, 2010? I think 8th? I've forgotten now. I've lost track. And they do have the band list available on the website as well. So if you need to check to make sure that everything you've got is ready to go, you can do that. They do actually have a sanctioned DSI judge, too, working there. So they actually have somebody who's legitimately able to make all those calls.
Very cool.
Hi, Hannah. That's what I've got for gaming news for this week.
Cool. I just want to give a shout out that, Crowbar says, I would take my wallet ninja. Yeah, the wallet ninja. I gotta see the wallet ninja.
Wallet ninja. I'm a wallet ninja.
I have one piece of news to bring up. James Avery, who was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
He was also Shredder on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which a lot of people don't know. Our audience will know that.
Yeah.
He passed away today.
Oh,
he went in for
I didn't
open heart
know that.
surgery, and he had complications, and he passed away. So.
Yep.
So long to Uncle Phil and Shredder.
Yeah. Hate when that.
Yeah. Good luck to his family who's going through that.
Yeah, he was actually scheduled to appear at Island City Comic Con next year
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Yep.
as part of the Ninja Turtles package they're putting together.
Yeah, to do some like we saw this year, reading the script as the voices. So.
Very cool. Well, Eden, thanks for coming and
Thanks for having me.
having some fun with us. It was really cool.
Yay.
I'm Vince.
Oh, I'm Colleen.
And Mike,
Geek out, I say.